I have always made it a priority to be a straight shooter in my sales career. That doesn't mean that I walk into things blindly or naively. It just means that I do my best to get to the bottom of things and then make sound recommendations at a fair price the first time. We can only control our actions and behaviors. The clients, on the other hand, may have their own secret agendas. Here are two stories I've heard that may help some people see more clearly what they are potentially up against in professional sales. A friend of mine has a close personal friend who is employed as a purchasing agent. My friend, who is always curious to know more about sales and selling, asked his friend a question one day about how he makes purchasing decisions. The purchasing agent replied, "I contact 3 or 4 vendors, give them an outline of what I require, and then ask them to email me a quote. Once I receive the quote, without even looking it over, I reply in bold letters, 'Can you do better?' and email it back to the original sender." He said, "Then each company that I originally asked to quote requotes, and always at a better price than originally given. The most amazing part of this is that the vendors seldom, maybe not at all, call to discuss this when asked to quote a second time. There is no attempt to justify their pricing or do any kind of selling at all. Just remember this the next time you're asked if this is your best price, and stick to your guns or ask more questions to build additional value into what you are recommending." The other story comes from a participant in one of my courses. An associate where she is employed had arranged a 3-way conference call between himself, his prospect, and a third party that was working on the prospect's behalf as a consultant to move the business transaction forward. The sales representative was running behind schedule and had attempted to contact the prospect to ask if the call could be diverted to another location so that he could meet his commitment. He was not able to reach the client, and therefore, when the 2 other parties contacted his work extension for the conference call, they reached his voicemail instead. Although they were unsuccessful in reaching the sales representative, they had other business to discuss, so they continued on with their conversation. In the next few minutes, they began to lay out a detailed strategic plan of how they intended to drive down the sales representative's pricing on the project that they were working on. What the prospect and their consultant were totally unaware of was the fact that everything that they had shared had been recorded on the sales representative's voicemail. How would you handle this if it happened to you? I think it's important to understand that this type of practice goes on in the business world and that we shouldn't take it personally. It's just part of doing business. All we can do is our very best each and every time, and when all is said and done, hopefully we end up in the win column more often than not. Getting the best price possible will always be important for customers, and there are certainly things going on behind the scene that we will never be privy to. Our responsibility as sales professionals is to represent our products and services in a manner that projects value and demands a profitable margin for our employers and ourselves. Most aspects of sales are beyond your control. The only thing you can control is what you say and do. Why is body language such an important element of negotiation? What must you be careful of regarding your body language during negotiations? What forms of positive body language will you witness from prospects during the negotiation? Body language is an important element of negotiation because 93% of communication is reported to be nonverbal. A large percentage of what people say is not communicated using words. You must be conscious of your body language during negotiations in the following ways: that your body, your hands, and your face communicate that you are calm, relaxed, and in control of yourself. Your physical posture must project a genuine and authentic, mature, and respectful frame of mind that is both professional and peaceful. Forms of positive body language that you will witness from the prospect during the negotiation are nodding in agreement, smiling, pleased or happy face, friendly, smooth gestures, relaxed posture, with open arms and hands. Forms of negative body language you will witness from the prospect during the negotiation are shaking head in disagreement, angry, hostile face, sudden defiant gestures with a shaking fist or a tense posture, and or closed arms and hands. Special note: some training programs and theories place an extreme emphasis on the significance and interpretation of prospect body language. In my opinion, the key is not to confuse habitual body language with body language that has significance. You can likely appreciate that in some circumstances, or for some people, it is just comfortable to sit with your arms crossed and it doesn't have any significant meaning. I would encourage you to watch for and observe sudden changes in body language. A shift from an open to a closed posture is worthy of attention, especially when it happens at a critical moment. Be cautious not to misinterpret body language. Ask questions for clarification. For example, I sense that you are displeased, or, judging by your reaction, this isn't what you were hoping for. The objective of the exercise in the next learning path is to elevate your ability to identify nonverbal messages conveyed through body language, facial expressions, and gestures. View the 7 descriptive words or phrases in the first slide of the next section. Quickly assess the message being conveyed by the image and determine which descriptive word or phrase on the slide that you feel best describes the expression or reaction. You will be given a few seconds, and then the intended response will be revealed. The exercise will be repeated 6 additional times until all the descriptive words or phrases have been matched up with an image. Then the exercise will repeat a second time with 7 additional images. The challenge is to match the correct image with each of the 14 descriptions provided. This concludes step number 7 of the learning path. Please click on the green Next button with the white arrow in order to advance to the next step.